question there.
Hello. Yeah, I have a question just to the talk that just finished. Is the platform designed for like measurement data or model data, or is it also designed for derived data set? So I don't know, I measure temperature, and then I compute temperature fluxes.
Very good question. This is also something we are about to implement. So it's already working for the measurements, but the derived data, as you said, or aggregated data or something, this comes in, but it is not depicted in the metadata. But we already have like the merge request for the schema extension, which would map this. So you have like the raw data stream, and you create a new data stream with your computed data, which then can be connected in the metadata. And you refer to the function or the method you use to compute it also in the metadata, so that you can completely understand how this new data stream was constructed. Completely transparent and understandable, and yeah.
But I mean, it sounds great, but currently I still have to go to, I don't know, I have to publish it on Pangea or something. Or it's not, Data Hub is not there yet? Or like if you say it's planned for?
Do you use the STA interface already?
No, I'm one of the ocean people.
But you have STA working, right? On some spots. I'm not from the ocean world, so I don't know the status of this on your. So
yeah, I didn't submit yet any data via OTA, so I would have to try it out and see.
Yeah, and then the schema will be there for you to fill out the fields, and you could just enter it. Yeah.
Perfect. Thanks.
You're welcome.
Question to both of you, because it will relate. What I encountered when dealing with any external resources, it's like you need to have contact back to data origin, to humans, to, let's say, in your case, it will be repositories. That data might be broken. Like you cannot even extract the tarball, right? Or in your case, if there is annotation for like CVS or whatever, or CSV, and you get that instrument data and you see that it's like all garbage and it needs to be fixed on their end. Do you foresee creating this closed loop with the originating parties and offloading some of that burden to them, so you automate the loop, so you could be out of the loop as soon as you report the issue to them?
In theory, yes. In practice, let's see. So when I introduced you the approach from the data mesh, you saw this domain ownership. And I guess in the beginning I said, don't forget the human in it. So it's not about purely a technical platform. You have a human using it, but you have the domain owners. This is the one who are responsible for the data sets. So these are the one you should tell, oh, your data set is broken, or there's a quality issue, or can you tell me which measurement device do you use? In theory. In practice, I guess we all are in the situation, or most of us, that after maximum 6 years, you have to leave university, and then probably knowledge got lost. In that case, yes, proper metadata documentation without the excuse, hey, I didn't know I have to report my measurement device there, would be one way. Then you have not the human, but again, the documentation. But so far, yeah, beyond having someone in the team who get the data set handed over, you need this. You need someone, some human, like for example in this domain ownership, or you rely on the data documentation or the value of the data set. Almost got lost if you cannot reuse it. Maybe you have a point as well?
Yeah, I can add something. We have implemented this, maybe you remember, there's this synchronizing tool which connects data and metadata. So data.
But doesn't talk back to the human. That's why the question.
Yeah, but the human is using or has to use the metadata self-service to enter the metadata. This self-service has, of course, some required fields to store the data set, the metadata set, and the data is not synchronized, that is published until you enter the metadata set. So this is kind of, we force the people to fill the metadata in order to see the data.
But you trust that they enter it correctly. And what I'm saying, like you do QA and you need loop back to that human on the left on your diagram, right? Or they entered that metadata and they screwed up. They entered capital O instead of 0 and you had luck, trying to type it down. So it's like all those issues.
Then this is not our concern. We just provide the tool. We have the vocabulary. People should use it. They are curators who could say, no, this term doesn't make sense, so it is not added to the vocabulary, so you can't use it.
Okay.
But you're still able to enter crap, yes. Okay. But then they have crap, okay.
I have a question about the data mesh, but also to both speakers about the resiliency of repositories. Occurs to me that we have more and more repositories. Back in the days, we used to have libraries in the universities, which were institutions and like funded for centuries, actually. I think it's not the case anymore. We have short-running R&D projects, PhD students who are leaving. So which solution do we offer to like keep those data repositories also online for centuries and not a couple of years? Is there interoperability between data repositories to migrate them, to merge them? What are your ideas on that?
First of all, I appreciate the question and the challenge behind it. And yes, I do it very easy for myself. I outsource the problem to the repository. Nevertheless, exactly that is where your question ranges to. About some facts or half facts, the re3 data, I introduced you in one of the screenshots. re3 data, registry of research data repositories. They did an analysis about their research repositories. They are listening, and I don't have the exact figures, but they are in one of their papers where they analyzed what happened to repositories, how long did they remain open, were they migrated. So this is kind of the best source I know to understand how repositories are handled during their life cycle. There are things like Siegel, so like certifications, exactly. Certifications for repository, nevertheless, that is not a guarantee that this repository will be funded. What we could do is say we leave it all to repositories at the institutions, then this should be funded as one of the tasks of the institutions. Nevertheless, not the biggest fan or don't see this as a perfect solution because the institutional repositories then needs to be somehow registered in a catalog or need to be found. So in case you want to search for a data set from engineering, I don't know if the RWTH publication repository was your first entry point. Probably not. For example, Zenodo, I mentioned as example there, the funding is, I guess, quite long, which shows at least a bit reliability, but no guarantee. So yes, the reliability of repositories is definitely a point that is central. And do you want to add something, or do you maintain your own repository?
No, but I can add maybe. I'm not sure if I can add. So repositories in our ecosystem are like Pangea, you mentioned it before. This is like persistent repository, right?
Yeah, it's backed by the Alfred Wegener Institute.
Yeah, Alfred Wegener.
Marine Institute of the University.
So this is,
As long as they exist.
yeah, as long as the institutes are there, then the repository is there. The same for Zenodo, and we have also in Ulrich data, which is run by the library, so this is installed there. when the library is gone, I think the center is gone. So that's, yeah, maybe adding this.
Thanks. It relates to this longevity of repositories a bit, but it's also like the repository as a source for whatever goes into the place that people that use your tools find a data set. And I think I understood correctly that in your case with the NFT for Ing, it sounded like more of a pull action. So from the portal side or from the catalog side, you would have to implement extensions that support that type of repository or that type of standard. So people can't just add data sets. And if there's a way, please comment on that. And I would like to see, compare that to in your use case, like, is it easy to add a data set to the portal for people to find it? Or does an extra step need to happen before that is possible?
You mentioned the term of pulling the data, or at least the metadata about a data set, and for the beginning, absolutely yes. I think especially for like a data catalog to get a critical size of data sets inside of it, so the system appears usable and not only, oh, you found 5 data sets. 3 of them does not work, 1 is not interesting. At a later point, I would hope that it comes to this like critical mess where you say, oh, I want to register my data inside of this data mesh. I even want to apply to certain rules that are there for interoperability, and then it would come towards a push, so from a pull to the push. But for now, that's the case, yes.
Yeah, I think in relation to your, to the last, Ulrich, to your talk, you also mentioned in one of the other answers to the questions that people have to edit or add their metadata to some interface. So is that the standard way? And is that also restricted by what your schema looks like? Because you said people can add crap. So can I also add crap in a different way by not typing it in, for example?
So they...
Questions to you, yes.
Okay.
Sorry.
So they use these self-services, and they, of course, are wired to the right fields in the metadata schema. So they are not able to use the wrong schema. That's the first point. And for the content of these fields, they are allowed to add free text, yes, but it's hard to. So the system makes it hard to do this. So it offers already the right solutions. It should offer the right solutions.
Thank you. There's another comment, looks like.
Yes, I would add to that responsibility of adding the right data. So yes, you showed very good. There's a metadata schema that is predefined by you, for example, and there is what do I write inside of this metadata schema as a researcher. And I would hope that we are all adults and do not write crap inside of it. Okay, I see your reaction. So I have a second point. When we think about science, this is the world I come from. We have like peer reviews. And if you have purely your data set, okay, probably you have a data set publication. So you write a text about your data set, giving more content. And probably there you have a peer review. I'm not saying that it's always the case, surely not, but this could be approached as well. And then we come into something I would call a cultural change. So not only handling publications with peer review, but as well the aspect of kind of a data review. And if a reviewer can investigate everything there, I don't know, but at least the most crap, I guess, or I hope the reviewer would identify.
Yeah, I think your Ulrich also mentioned the aspect of curation, which I guess is the same point.
Yep.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is like the fine-grained review of what is in the metadata fields. Yeah. And maybe I can add some other aspects. I mentioned this download service in the interoperability layer. So we aim at using this tool to actually publish on an automated basis. So the data is coming in. someone defines data sets, maybe based on the installations, and they are published on a yearly basis, maybe in a certain repository, and that would work fully automatically, actually.
You wasn't expecting that, but I have one question too. In your Outlook, you mentioned the LLMs, the large language model. What is it for? Is it for searching data sets or giving suggestions which might fit? Is it about giving a structure? So what is the role of the LLM in the Outlook in future to bring in a bit of AI again?
Several. I mentioned, so we are about to use LLMs to lower the barriers to use this whole ecosystem. So we try to describe everything well, do the structured documentation, and then the LLM finds our stuff and helps people to use it. And yeah, there's also, so we want to structure those metadata vocabularies more deeply so that the LLMs could really use the systems in an interoperable fashion. So you don't you don't only get the answer, go to the system and enter your metadata, but the thing is doing it for you. So I have a data set here. Can you please enter in the system the metadata and publish it? Then this works. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. We have another question.
I can append something to that. I know that maybe you know the name Nikolai Kolganov from the Alfred Wegener Institute. He now has, I think he got a small grant for like a database LLM integration. And what he now works as a proof of concept, but what he envisions to that end users can ask for scientific data without necessarily knowing the scientific lingo. So I can ask, can I plant oranges in my garden? And then the LLM will look at precipitation, temperature ranges, and blah, 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 and so on. So I don't know if that's a good example, but yeah, that translates from a person where we can't expect any specific knowledge to the scientist's side and scientist's language.
Do anyone want to comment on that? And then we have another question here.
I come back to you for the name and.
Yeah, unrelated question. I think to both of you in a sense, but Ulrich specifically mentioned the challenge of getting people to use it. And I was wondering, for both of these disciplines and technical solutions, are there mandates in place at the moment that ensure that working groups actually invest the time and like manpower necessary to contribute data? What is the current mode of getting data in? Is it the most motivated people, or the people that you have been talking to for the past 2 years? Are those the ones contributing, or is it already like a running system? Yeah, it's kind of to both of you. I guess you will have different mechanisms or stages.
Simple answer, difficult, at least from my subjective impression. When it comes to motivation, yes, you can always say like you are enforced to do it because of good research practice, because you promised it in your research proposal to do that. Otherwise, it's always, or I experience it as considered as additional effort, so I have to do something, and then something is public and others can see it, and guys like me could criticize it, how it's published there, because it's not the latest metadata schema used. So difficult, yes, and motivation is like a bit this cultural change as well. And this is very fuzzy, yes, but saying like, okay, we change a way to make science reproducible and even helpful to reuse data, because someone found a paper and cannot reproduce the same results because data is missing or whatever code is missing for that. But it's a cultural thing, and it's nothing I could solve within minutes or, let's say, years. Same impression for you, different additional thoughts?
Yes, same. Instead of these things which were already running for like 15 years. So there's already a workflow and there's machinery which is working. And this is just only the task to re-implement or migrate the stuff into the new world. So there are some groups, like in the Tirino project I mentioned, which are already used to having those things in this workflow, and others not. Maybe the one we had here, the infrastructure is growing, but I just don't know how to use it. STA, what is it? Do I have to care? No. So we try to provide technical solutions for it, but there is an organizational side.
Yeah, I'm not trying to suggest that you are the ones to solve the social problem. I was just looking for inspiration, right? Because what we can do is we can provide the technical means for a problem to become solved, and that is awesome. Like, to be able to have a place to go and link the data and make it discoverable and make it fair, that's awesome. And then the second set, like the users, like, and I'm constantly looking for ways that people make the users comply, and sometimes that's via making it compulsory. Sticks, exactly, or carrots, and yeah. So thank you for those insights.
And beyond this, so we have like publications in science. Why do we publish? Because we share knowledge, and we have to, and our boss wants us to publish, and we get scientific credits. We check every time, oh, my paper got cited one more time. This is fancy. And imagine that for a data set. Oh, my data set got reused one more time. Currently, I guess we're not at the point where we say, oh, this is nice. This is something where I get credit for. Hopefully, in some future, this is the case. I guess I had another thought, I forgot it. In the engineering science, I personally see that a little bit difficult because data sets are quite specialized. I remember, funny anecdote, I once had a request if I were aware of a data set from a robot arm, from the joints, which forces appear there. Short answer, no. This is very specialized, so reusability might be limited there, probably, when it's very specialized. I don't know how you see it. Is your data very specialized, or is it something where you see more use cases where researchers reuse it?
I could think of a lot of use cases where researchers can reuse their data if it would be properly described and so on. But at the moment, I'm not in this field, the researcher. I observe something like, that's the data we now obtained. Let's do our research and then maybe publish it. Maybe. Don't let the others see first.
Thanks. We're at the end of today. So thanks a lot